Welcome to another episode of Sabbath School Coaching, Hit the Mark for Sabbath School Teachers. I want to talk to you today about the characteristics of a good teacher. If we were to come up with a list of characteristics of a good teacher, some of the things we would probably say we want someone that's knowledgeable, someone who's nice, as I mentioned in a previous episode, someone who's spiritual, say organized, someone who has tact, who can deal with the different personalities, someone who has good time management skills. There's a long list of characteristics that we would like to have in a teacher. Someone who has a good character or integrity, good morals, a good reputation. All these things are qualities that we may not all possess, but that we could work towards improving in our own lives. Just some of the characteristics of a good teacher. And just think back. If you have a teacher that you're fond of, what was it that sticks out of your mind about that particular teacher that you remember? There's certain traits and characteristics that we should all have. But I want to talk to you this episode about some of the top skills that a person must have. There are certain characteristics that we want teachers to have, but there are also some skills that people must have. One is time management. If you know you have a certain allotted time, you must be able to start and finish to be able to complete what it is that you're trying to accomplish. But there's another skill that I think is vitally critical to the success as a Sabbath school teacher. And we learn this from none other than Jesus himself. I like to say that Jesus' first Sabbath school class is where we learn this from. And the story is very simple. It's from Luke 2:46. And it came to pass that after 3 days they found him in the temple, speaking of Jesus, sitting in the midst of the doctors, both hearing them and asking them questions. My question to you is, why do you think he was asking questions? Do you think he didn't know the answer? Well, I believe he knew the answer. Well, if he knew the answer, then why was he asking the question? Some may say, well, because he was trying to figure out what they were thinking. I believe he knew what they were thinking. So that leaves one other reason, because by asking questions, you get the person engaged in whatever it is that you are trying to convey. If you would look carefully at Jesus' earthly ministry, he spent a lot of time doing two things: telling stories or parables, and asking questions. I believe that the ability to ask great questions is one of the top skills that all teachers must develop. Really, you only need 4 or 5 good questions to lead a Sabbath school discussion or a small group study. But you must master the ability to ask great questions. And in another episode, I'll walk you through some of the ways that we should ask questions. Thank you for joining, and I look to see you on our next episode.